I'm Heidi, and this is... You're supposed to say your name. Kemper. And we are going to read the Declaration of Independence. This goes with week 4 for Classical Conversations, cycle 3. The Declaration of Independence by Lori Mortensen. Illustrated by Matthew Skeens. Stop that. The Declaration of Independence. Holy cheese Louise. There's quite a bit of things in this book. My name is Thomas Jefferson. I wrote the Declaration of Independence. Later, I was the 3rd President of the United States. To me, the Declaration of Independence was more important than being president. Its bold words helped the United States of America become a free nation. Listen to this exciting story. What is the Declaration of Independence? The Declaration of Independence was written during the Revolutionary War, which was from 1775 to 1783. During this war, Americans fought to break free from Great Britain. The document explains Americans' rights. It says government officials should protect their rights. It also says the United States of America is a free nation. The Declaration of Independence is one of 3 documents called the Charters of Freedom. The other 2 documentations included are the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Tea, taxes, and trouble. A group of people from Great Britain arrived in North America in the 1600s. They chose to settle there. By about 1770, 2.5 million people lived in the 13 colonies along the East Coast. Great Britain's king ruled them. Many colonists believed that the king's laws were unfair. When the king ordered a change in the tax on tea, the colonists fought back. In December 1773, a large group of colonists dressed as Native Americans dumped 342 crates of British tea into the Boston Harbor. This event was later called the Boston Tea Party. Many colonists disagreed with British laws, and the laws that said they could buy and sell many goods only from Great Britain. Fight for freedom! The colonists' actions angered the king, so the king ordered even tougher laws. On September 5th, 1774, a group of colonists met to talk about the problems between Great Britain and the colonies. This meeting was called the First Continental Congress. The men wanted peace with Great Britain. However, peace would not come for many years. Not all colonists wanted to fight against Great Britain. Many thought they should remain loyal to the king. On April 19th, 1775, British soldiers arrived in Lexington, Massachusetts. Not to be confused with Lexington, Kentucky. Colonial soldiers were waiting for them. A shot was fired. The Revolutionary War had begun. Author of Freedom! Nearly a year later, on June 11th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The men decided it was time to break away from Great Britain. They wanted to form a new nation. They asked 5 men to create an important document. The group chose Thomas Jefferson to write it. The document would later be called the Declaration of Independence. Once finished, it would help the colonists gain their freedom from Great Britain. Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. He was one of the youngest members of the Second Continental Congress. Quit covering it up. I said that word wrong because you covered it up. The finished document. Jefferson worked on the document for less than 17 days. Then he showed it to the Continental Congress. They argued and made many changes to it. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress approved the Declaration of Independence. Congress printed copies of the document. Horseback riders handed out copies to the people in all of the colonies. As people read the Declaration of Independence, many shouted for joy. Americans would work together to gain their freedom. John Hancock was the first signer of the Declaration of Independence. Some people believe he wrote his name in large letters so the king could read it without his glasses. The message. The beginning of the Declaration of Independence describes why it was written. It says that when people must go against their government, they should explain why. Next, the document states some of the most powerful ideas about human rights ever written. It states that all people are created equally, and everyone has natural rights, and those rights include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The document explains how people form governments to protect those rights. Sometimes that government will fail to protect people's rights. Then the people have the right to change the government. Free and independent. The document also blames Great Britain's king for failing to protect the colonists' rights. It lists examples of how the king had treated the colonists unfairly. At the end, the document declares the colonies free and independent states. It says they have all the powers of a free nation. The Revolutionary War lasted 8 years. In 1783, the Americans and the British agreed to peace. The Americans were free. Model for a nation. Throughout the years, people have looked at the Declaration of Independence as a model. It's very beautiful, that's why. I saw that. Its words have helped others in their own fight for rights. In 1848, Elizabeth Cady Stanton fought for women's rights. She used the Declaration of Independence as a guide to write her own document. It states that women have the same rights as men. During the Civil War, from 1861 to 1865, President Abraham Lincoln gave his Gettysburg Address. In this famous speech, he told Americans to remember the words of the Declaration of Independence. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. fought for black people's rights. He spoke of the Declaration of Independence. "I have a dream," he said, "that all men are created equal." Seeing the Declaration of Independence. Today, visitors can see the Declaration of Independence. It is kept in the National Archives building in Washington, D.C. This famous document is displayed, not explained, but displayed in a large case, along with the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The Declaration of Independence is kept in a huge bulletproof case. At night, it is lowered 22 feet into a vault and locked inside. Americans celebrate their country's birthday on July 4th. That is the day Congress approved the Declaration of Independence more than 200 years ago. Today, the Declaration of Independence is a symbol of Americans' struggle for freedom. And now you know this important story. Do you know what a colonist is? It's a group of people who settle in another country and remain part of the mother country. Do you know what the colonies were? The 13 groups of people living in the North Americas before the Revolutionary War. They were ruled, apparently I can't say ruled, by Great Britain. Continental Congress. A group of 56 delegates who made important decisions for the 13 colonies and later the United States. A document is a paper containing important information. Independence. It's free from the control of another. No, free from control from another. Do you know what rights are?
You know what rights are?
Just moral or lawful claims. What about a symbol? You know what a symbol is?
A symbol is kind of music instrument.
Yeah, we're not talking about that kind though. An object that stands for something else. Do you know what a tax is? A fee charged by the government. Thank you so much for joining us today on Reading Books with Mom and not somebody else because she can't say her own name. Have a great day.
Bye, Smiley Show only.